Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. My name is Amethyst and today we're just going to be talking about Wuthering Waves and how well this game has done and essentially all the information surrounding it at the moment, the hype around it, essentially just talking while playing it in the background. First thing I want to say is congratulations to Cura Games and congratulations to Wuthering Waves itself. You have created such an amazing community and such an amazing game. This game has blown me away. I did not think this game would do as well as it had been doing. Honestly, this game is absolutely astonishing, and I'm so glad a game like this now exists. I mean, I know there are other games of the same genre like Genshin Impact, but I'm not talking about Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is a very easy, and in my my opinion, it's not a bad game, but it's a very easy, very vibrant, very simple game in comparison to Wuthering Waves. I think Wuthering Waves is a lot more hardcore. I think Wuthering Waves requires a lot more skill to play it, and I think Wuthering Waves requires essentially a lot more knowledge of combat, builds, and essentially stats, and just overall, just everything about this game, in my opinion, tops what Genshin Impact is. But we're not doing a Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves comparison. If you guys want that in the future, then please do let me know. Today we're just talking about how successful Wuthering Waves has been within the first week and a half. So I was hyped for this game around a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now at this point actually, when I was watching Tectone and a few other content creators talk about it and saying that there's a game coming, keep your eyes open, this game is not going to disappoint at all. So I did keep my eyes on it. I looked at the teaser trailers, I looked up everything, and essentially I was making sure that this game was on my radar at all times. Any updates, I would be there. Any changes or delays, I would be there. And then when this game finally got its live stream earlier in the year, shortly after the CPT2, I don't think I'd ever been more hyped for a game than this for quite some time. It gave me a sense of nostalgia at the same time, because do you guys remember way back when back on the PS4, PS3, PS4, early PS4 days, where you used to have to pre-order the game and then you'd wait up for the for the game to go live at midnight. Even back in the days of the old school Pokemon games and the old school like Skyrims and just games like that. I used to as a kid, I used to really sit up late and just theory craft and wonder what these sort of games are going to be like. Even Pokemon, Skyrim, way back when, like even going all the way back to when Spyro and Crash used to be my favorite games when I was a kid. Like, I would sit up for hours as a kid with my dad or on my own just playing these games. And what the point I'm making is, I hadn't been as excited for, like that for a game until now. Like, of course I was excited for games, but recently, in recent years, as I've got older, my excitement has dwindled, only because, well, for multiple reasons really. Recently I feel like games have been falling short of my expectations, and with this game my expectations were kind of 50-50. I thought this game was going to be really good, but at the back of my mind I was also expecting the worst but hoping for the best, because the last thing I would want is essentially for this game to release and it to be mediocre or fall short of my expectations, if you know what I mean. And this game has not fallen short of my expectations by any means. This game has excelled in my expectations and essentially has just taken me by storm. It has actually taken me to a very happy place. Now all I do, if I'm feeling down or if I want a game just to play in the background, not play story, not grind for anything, but just play and have a good time, I just load it up, explore, and just enjoy the scenery, enjoy the combat, enjoy what this game has to offer, because this game has a ton to offer. The gameplay wise, features wise, this game has a lot to offer. Not only are the graphics for a game of this sort of caliber beautiful, But also at the same time, this game has a lot of really good gameplay mechanics. Like I said, the fighting mechanics, the exploration is absolutely amazing. I mean, look how big this map is. This map is absolutely... I haven't even explored all of it yet, and there's so much more here. Like, you can tell they're going to expand on this in the future. And I just cannot wait for this game to continue to improve as the months to years go on. I hope this game's lifespan is long, and I hope this game's lifespan flourishes. And I hope that the fans stay with it and don't just dwindle off and leave the game if the game sometimes, you know, has a filler patch or something. I mean, fans haven't done any of that sort of behavior for games like Honkai Star Rail, and I definitely don't believe they will do it for a game like this. This game has shown me that I can enjoy gaming again, and also shown me that developers do listen and developers do care. I don't want a game where developers just don't care about their audience and don't care about the game that they're developing. Kuro Games has now proven to me multiple times just in this past week and a half that they are listening to feedback. Even before then, you know, people were giving them criticism on the CBT1, so on the CBT2 a lot of game changes and quality of life changes were made, all because people's feedback was heard. Kuro Games paid attention to people's feedback. People were being heard, and gameplay changes, quality of life changes were being made. But, you know, like, I think this game has given me everything and more that I've asked for. It even has its own Pokemon monster catching mechanic. It even has its own Pokemon catching, monster catching mechanic. And I think that it has been executed very, very well. Of course they can make improvements. Of course they can make improvements. I'm still yet to find my first shiny, which I'm very much looking forward to. But this game has so much good stuff to offer. Like, I haven't even finished the story, and people are saying that although the first act, to first 2 to 3 acts are slow, people have said to me, stay with it, because from act 4 to 6, or how 5 or 6 acts, like the last few acts, the story picks up very well. I don't know, I've had no spoilers, so of course I'm going to be excited about that, and going to be enjoying, I'm sure, every moment of the whole story, if not acts 4 to 6. But I always say the thing about live service games is you have to deliver what you promise the game. Look at Anthem. Anthem was a live service game, and look what happened to Anthem. Destiny 2. Now, I'm not shitting on Destiny 2, but there's a lot of criticisms around Destiny 2, and that's technically a live service game. You know, like, there's lots of these live service games that do fall short, or at least at times don't meet expectations because they're failing to deliver what they promised. You know, I remember when Lightfall came out. Is it Lightfall? I believe it's Lightfall for Destiny 2, and people were disappointed with that expansion, you know, and just said it's sort of a whole load of nothing. But then at the same time, I had people say it's really good, so it really is up for debate. But the more things the majority of the things I was seeing was a little bit negative because it fell short. The thing is about live service games is that the game is never going to be a complete game, because there's always going to be story updates, there's always going to be just constant seasons, and there's always going to be constant changes to the game. This game, I haven't even completed the story, and I haven't even explored the entire thing yet, and the game feels complete in my eyes. There are things that can be improved, but over hotfixes and updates that Kuro Games have delivered to us, the game feels near enough complete. And what I mean by that is, I know the game isn't complete because they're going to constantly release story updates and characters, but I mean the gameplay wise, like the way the game feels, it feels like a complete game. That's my opinion, of course. I can't really go deeper into that. I'm not the best at explaining things. I thought I'd make this video just to give you guys my honest thoughts, uncensored, uncut thoughts of what I think of Wuthering Waves and what I think of the game so far. I think also the fact that people have criticized when this game first came out is very dull. The world is very dull. I prefer Genshin Impact because it's more vibrant. You cannot tell me what I'm looking at right now isn't vibrant. The colors are vibrant. The world's more mature, of course. The world is absolutely more mature, but you cannot tell me the colors that you are seeing are not vibrant and, you know, and bright at times. Also, really quick tip, by the way, guys, if you want to increase your graphics for this game even more, go to your brightness, because obviously the brightness level is here. This is the brightness level when you first load into the game. This is the brightness level when you first load into the game. And then if I just quickly stand here, if I stand here, brightness levels when you first open the game, it's about 50%. Now, if you go back down to brightness and then go all the way down, look at the changes, and you cannot tell me that there aren't changes. It looks miles better. Turn it all the way down. It's such a good thing for you guys to do. You won't regret it. Honestly, you will not regret it. I promise you now. You will not regret it. But as I was saying, like even to the point where we recently got an update. Now I'm not going to do a video on it because I was late to the party. They're bringing Yinlin's banner forward. They're bringing 1.1 forward. They're giving us compensation, I think, again, like another 10 pull on each banner because of all the problems that we've been experiencing from launch until now. And we're going to be getting new villains, like new enemies, like new tacit discords, new enemy types in general. We're going to be getting a new zone, like a new area to explore. And 1.1 has been brought forward by a week, I think, or a few days to a week early. Now, some people are saying it's because they want to essentially avoid the Zenless Zone 0 release, because the release date for Zenless Zone 0 is near enough bang on to what the original release date of 1.1 was. So it's a very good move for them to bring it forward. As obviously it would make a hell of a lot of sense. You don't want your next update to release on the same date as a brand new Hoyoverse Gatcha game. That's kind of very unwise of them to do. So they would have had to push it back or bring it forward. And I think it's a better thing they brought it forward, because I think if they'd have pushed it back, people would have been so hyped about Wuthering Waves, they would have technically... I'm not saying they wouldn't have gone to Wuthering Waves and checked out 1.1, but it wouldn't have made as much of a success as if they brought it forward, so people can check out the update first before going to Zenless Zone 0. I think also Kuro Games as a developer has shown us how much they care about their community. I think they've shown us that they are open to changes and open to feedback, and even if there's a feature in this game that they themselves have implemented, if people don't like it, they'll change it, you know. I think endgame wise, if we go over to endgame, people want endgame for this game, and we're getting it. We already have Towers of Adversity, which people are very, very happy with. We also have the Depths of Illusion, which refreshes every 25 days or 25 to 30 days. I am still yet to do it, and I will be doing it probably on stream. But again, another end game content. We're probably going to be getting more end game content as the months to years go. And again, you can't tell me Genshin has end game content. People that are going to compare this to Genshin, even though they're in the same genre. And there are similarities, like the HUD is similar, like I guess the relic system, the foundations of the relic system's there, but then again, you can't really say they're the same, because the ecosystem is completely different to the artifact system, and the relic system from Genshin and HSR. Ecosystem is a completely different system, completely different ball game, so you can't even compare the two. So people that compare the three, together. So if you do, you can't really do that because they're completely different systems. And also the way the echoes get their substats is very different to how the artifacts and your relics get their substats, you know. And the way you build your characters in this game are different to a decent and moderate degree. So there are similarities, of course there will be, it's of the same genre, but You don't compare them together to one, and don't say Genshin's better than this or whatever, because they're completely different. You can't really compare the games together 100% because there are similarities, but it is a different game, but it's of the same genre, you know. The combat's completely different, the end game's completely different, the exploration's completely different, the ecosystem isn't even remotely present in Genshin Impact, you know, like just there's so many things in this game that are so different. A few things of course are similar, but so many things are so different, you can't really compare the two one to one. It's not really a fair comparison. And people comparing this to TOF, like, you guys need to really open your eyes. One's an MMO, one's a single player experience with multiplayer elements, but solely it's a single player game. Also, that's another thing, the multiplayer. I haven't even tested out the multiplayer yet, but I've heard good things about the multiplayer. You know, like, I've heard very good things about the multiplayer. And apparently there are rumors that there's going to be multiplayer endgame. You know, you can go to combat challenges and do things called a match, where essentially you and a teammate can essentially do it together or race against each other. And I don't know if there's going to be a Tower of Adversity multiplayer mode. I think people said there were screenshots of multiplayer and Tower of Adversity. That just goes to show that there'll be endgame for multiplayer, which again is amazing. If you can give us like multiplayer events and multiplayer focused events, that will then entice players to want to play with their friends. That will entice players to want to play together. That will entice more people to play the game, because everyone loves a single player game. But there's always, if people love the single player experience, don't you think they're going to want to share this experience with their friends? Take on the boss fights that actually require skill to beat with their friends. Take on endgame content with their friends. Explore with their friends. Heck, if Cura Games wanted to, and I'm sure it's within their power, they could even, I'm sure they could do like a co-op mini story. You know, it doesn't have to be voice acted, but like, you know, like the adventure quests, like where you have to take on the Inferno Rider and stuff like that, like those sort of story sort of quests. I do like a mini adventure quest, like a multiplayer exclusive one. You know, like, there's so much you can do. And there's so much you can offer this game. This game has so much potential. Like, this game has so much to offer the world and the communities of the Gatcha game, of the Gatcha game universe. I don't think you guys understand. This game has so much potential, and I really cannot wait to experience it with you all. I cannot wait to see where Cura Games takes this game. I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait. And also, look at this scenery. Look at the background. The moon, the mountains, the clouds. I hope you guys don't mind me just running around with Calcaro, by the way. I'll change the Yuan Wu to give it a bit of a change. But I just want to talk to you guys without getting too distracted with the fights, because I'm not very good with multitasking. And I know people are going to be like, you're doing what mint pickers do. I don't care. I do not care. This video was for you guys to hear my thoughts and to hear my opinions, and for you guys to debate in the comment section what you guys think of this game. There are going to be a couple of comparisons to other games, but I'm not trying to make it a comparison video. But it's very difficult not to at least acknowledge the negative comments and the negative rumors and the negative comparisons of Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. It's very difficult not to acknowledge that. I think this game has so much potential to offer. This game is literally a week and a half into its lifespan. You can't really make, you can make like a bit of a comparison, like Wuthering Waves' launch compared to Genshin Impact's launch, and I might do a video on that. But you can't really do a you shouldn't really do a one-to-one comparison of what the game is of Genshin Impact now to what Wuthering Waves is, because it's like Wuthering Waves is a brand new experience to a lot of people. The game's new. The game's brand new. The game has yet to flourish and yet to grow as an IP. Genshin Impact already had its time. It's 4 years old this year. You know, of course there are certain comparisons to be made, but like I said, I've said many times in this video, and I'll say it again, you can't do a one-to-one comparison. It's not really a fair comparison, Because if you're going by that standpoint, the combat in this game is way better than Genshin. The exploration is way better than Genshin. In my opinion, the world itself is better than Genshin, you know? I'm not saying Genshin's a bad game. At its core, Genshin is a very good game. But it isn't getting the support and love that it needs for it to become the best it can possibly be. And I think this game will. I think this game will be the best, possibly the best game of the entire genre. Because I think the care, the time and care it's going to have and the hands it's in of Kuro Games, I think this game will be at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to open world gacha games.
Did you smell the dried fish I have?
I forgot his idle animation was that. Be free, cat. I'm gonna go to the top of the. I'm gonna go to the top of the this exploration part because there's cats up there, so it'd be perfect for you, Anwu. But yeah, like even down to like even down to the rewards that we've got, like the compensation rewards, right? Kuro have given us so many compensation rewards because of the bugs and the lack of this, the lack of that, or the not enough of this, or the too much of this. And they've given us not only multiple pulls, they've given us like they've given us time. I'm not talking about the actual rewards they've given us. They've given us hot fixes on a daily. Within the first week, we had about 10 plus hot fixes, like probably more than that, because they realized, damn, this is a big deal. Like we don't want our game to be frowned upon because we missed these bugs or because the launch wasn't as good as we thought. We want to really knuckle down on that, and we want to show people that we care. And I think Kuro Games have done that perfectly. Recently there was a problem with the translation issues for, is it JP with Jan's weapon. And I'm pretty sure they've reimbursed them, or at least they've compensated them, 10 pulls or a 10 pull or 2 10 pulls, or essentially enough to compensate them, I think they've compensated them handsomely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they've compensated them for that error. That's a very big error because a lot of people spent a lot of money and a lot of time trying to get Jan's weapon. So compensating them well was obviously a on the priority list. But overall, I think this game has showed us that that gaming of this genre, live service games in general, the open world gacha anime genre that Genshin started, that Kuro Games is continuing with Wuthering Waves, is going to be bright. I think the future of this game is going to be bright, and I think we have nothing to worry about. And I think if we have any complaints, any worries, Kuro Games will be on it like that. But that's just my opinion. This video is my honest thoughts. I know I go over a few things a good few times, but that's how I explain things. I have to reiterate. Is it because of my autism and ADHD? Probably, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I just love to hammer down the point that I'm trying to make. Now, I know some people might disagree with the points I made, some people might agree with the points I made, but that's okay. That's why I love making these videos and these debate videos, because these debate videos is what brings the community together to discuss with one another what they love and hate, or like and dislike about the game. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this game. I wanted to give my thoughts on this game, and give my thoughts on the launch of this game and the potential of this game, essentially. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for each and every one of you supporting me up until now. All of your support is more than appreciated, trust me. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And yeah, guys, have a good night.